Welcome to the January 9th, 2025 meeting of the Decatur Architectural Review Board. I will call roll with each commission member answering present. Phyllis is not here yet. Barbara Kelly.
Present.
Patrick Rasco.
Present.
I'm Jacob Woods, the board chair, and we do have a quorum present. Dr. Swope is the city's preservation specialist. Thank you to everyone who is attending today. Your involvement in this commission's proceeding is vital to the effectiveness of this process. There is a copy of the agenda out front if you would like one. Historic district designation means your neighborhoods have been recognized by the United States government, the state of Alabama, and the city of Decatur as being architecturally or historically significant to our community. Historic districts are not created to prevent changes, but rather to ensure that the proposed changes are appropriate to the individual property and the districts as a whole. The board's responsibility is to review the appropriateness of all proposed changes. Each historic resource within the district is assessed on its own individual merits. What is appropriate for one property may not be appropriate for another based on resource age, location, neighboring properties, and stylistic details. The Architecture Review Board's rulings are based on written standards and regulations that guide our review and decision making. These guidelines and the Commission's decisions have the force of city ordinance. You can access our guidelines along with application forms on the city's website. Our hearing process is as follows. Staff will present the application. When they read your name and property address, please be prepared to come to the podium. Staff will present the application and staff assessment of each request. When the staff has finished presenting the application item, the applicant and/or designated representative will then state their name and address and provide any additional information or comments regarding that application item. The board may ask clarifying questions of the applicant at this time. Next, we will hear any public comments on that particular application item only. After public comment has closed, the chair will entertain a motion and the board will discuss and dispense of that application item. Staff will then proceed to the next application item and so forth. An approved certificate of appropriateness, or COA, will be issued in the form of an email that's copied both the applicant and the building department, approximately 1 week after this hearing. The document will outline and reaffirm what was approved and that the project has been approved. A COA must be issued before a building permit can be obtained. If any changes to your project are anticipated after the COA is issued, it is the responsibility of the homeowner to contact staff and she will help guide you. In some cases, you may be required to submit the changes for review and issuance of a new COA. If your project is denied and you are not issued a COA, you'll be issued a letter stating the reasons for denial and additional information. Denied COAs will be sent via certified mail to the property owner's address filed with the Morgan County Revenue Commissioner's Office. You may resubmit an application with revised plans at a future meeting. There is an appeal process for a denied COA as well, which is spelled out in the municipal ordinance under section 1825 and 1892. After all applications are heard, the commission will entertain general comments from the public limited to 3 minutes per individual. First order of business is approval of the meeting minutes from December 12th, 2024.
Second that.
Any discussion? I think last page had some additional notes on one. I think it's from the old minutes.
Yeah.
All right, let me see. Oh, I see. It is, so cross that one off. So it's just that last paragraph there.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, I did pick up from the old minutes before it.
Those being scratched through, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Let's see, expedited COA since our last meeting in December.
December's a light month, so we had 2 different COAs at 609 Oak Street. That was repairing damaged brick and concrete in the driveway and flower bed edging and working on leveling the backyard and repairing a brick patio. So there was a lot of masonry work on site that just over the decades had disintegrated. 5088, repair damage would work on front dormers. 112 Cherry, this is the house that was badly damaged during the storm where the tree sort of hit the roof and literally sort of took the front wall, partially kilter. So I've been working with the firm and the insurance agency on that to get that up and running. And then next it is election of a new chair and vice chair.
This is always fun for us.
Yes. So I will say on this so that people are clear what the duties are. The chair is the one obviously that runs the meeting. They also are the ones that officially say that a meeting will not occur if we don't have anything on the agenda. So if we have no agenda items, I call the chair and I say, okay, I need you to cancel the meeting because I can't do that. That comes from the chair. The chair, I normally call them about a week out from a meeting and say, okay, this is what's on the agenda this coming week. do you need any more information? Do you want me to double check anything before I come in with my staff report? They also, if I'm on vacation, and they are the ones responsible for stop work orders. And also if somebody needs a fast track COA, which is generally roofing, they are the ones who can sign off on a roofing COA. Because most anything else, they can wait a week and we'll be fine. Most of what poor Jacob gets the phone calls from me on is because he's the commission architect, which is a different position. And that's when, the board will say, well, yes, we will approve this, but we want someone to go in the field to double check it. And it's Jacob and I, we were out 2 days ago in the freezing cold, 8:30 in the morning or something. It was really cold. Measuring things and checking on things, and that will not change. That is the commission architect handles that. The vice chair, they come in if whoever's chair cannot be here to run a meeting, or if the chair gets sick, then the vice chair takes over those duties. But our ordinance is written in such a way that Jacob can serve for 2 years consecutive, which he has done. Ellis has served for 2 years consecutive. So we do have to have a new chair and vice chair for this next year. And I'm sorry that Ellis is not here. He said he would be, so I'm not sure what's keeping him. But he can no longer be vice chair. I'll let you decide if it's ethical to nominate him for chair while he's gone.
That's what I was just about to ask, and he was going to chair.
We could, with the understanding that you might have to revote on it next term next time we meet, if he just says he can't do it, but that certainly is an option.
He did not say he wasn't coming.
I think he said he was. Let me see, I can check.
If that's the case, I wonder if I could push this off to the end of the meeting, go ahead and review the COAs and then come back to this.
No, he sent me a message on the 2nd of January saying I will be there. So he planned on being here today, but something's come up quickly. So do you want to wait and go ahead and do the COA and then circle back and give us a little more time?
For you.
Okay. All right. Our one COA is 809 Line Street Northeast. This is Karen Thomas's house. You may recall you worked quite a bit with her on the large addition. This is on the historic house. It's a porch that you enter from the side, so it's perpendicular to the house. This is the location, and it is the front door. There's a lot of wood rot showing actually on the side lights. We tried to find someone to repair it. She tried. I gave her a list of contacts. I assisted, and the challenge I think was that some jobs are just so small that even though it's a failing part of the house, she just could not find anyone who was willing to take it on. So she has found a very similar side light. The only difference is the door is pretty much the same, but the side lights, as you see, they have a slightly different fenestration pattern with the glass. Typically, I would have gone ahead and approved it, but technically, since it is a replacement and it's not identical, it's overstepping my bounds, so that's why it is in front of the board. It's just I legally don't have the ability to approve this one. But I can assure you she tried. She tried, I tried. It was lots of, can we make this happen? And we weren't able to.
Too much longer, the middle lane's going to lose an arm as long as it's going to get through that rotten part on the side when she comes to deliver the mail.
Yeah.
Just asking questions. The original units look like 3 independent slabs built in, and this looks like one.
It's 3. It's the side lights they come in, and in Caroline we asked if we could get them wider, and we could not. So I did clarify with the person, the builder that we're ordering them from, that that's the only way it comes because it's a standard door. Yeah. So, and then as far as the door, the old door, my parents had redone this house back in the 80s. And so the porch, the front door was actually swung around and they enclosed that porch. So I don't know if that's an original door or not. Caroline, do you know if it is?
It's an original door for a craftsman. I can't tell you if it is the original door for that house, but it certainly is typical for what you see in that period.
Well, that's not the original location of the door.
Right, that's not.
Correct.
That is not.
Even if it is an original door,
Right,
it was,
it's not. They swung it around and closed that porch a long time ago.
would there be any value to getting the three pieces put in individually rather than, I would think it would be less expensive, and retain more of the original.
The door is going to be, this is part of a unit. So it's the three pieces, but it is a unit as opposed to three individual pieces.
Yeah,
So it's coming as a enclosed set.
yeah.
And the overall dimensions are pretty,
Yeah, the builder said that's what they spec'd for it, so yeah, it better work or it won't.
so, yeah. You're not gonna have to fill in a bunch of the opening to make it fit.
He said, I mean, I'm not from what, I think they measured it out, so I think with the extra edge and stuff, it's supposed to be just slide right in and replace that.
I bet they'll keep the trim on the outside, it's just sliding inside of the trim that's around the edge.
Yeah, it just, and I'm sure it's just from the angle, but the new door looks smaller than the existing, or the new unit
Or smaller.
looks smaller than what's over there, especially in the sidelines. Because that center trim's a 1x4, isn't it?
It is the closest fit that we could get because this is a contemporary door as
Mhm.
opposed to, it's just designed for certain specs as opposed to what was in there, which is a different time period and different measurement.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you leaving it stained or you painting?
I think we were gonna paint this one to go, because it blends in, but we could do it either way. I don't know if that's, I think the other ones are staying on the new edition, but I'm not sure that this is the same. I don't know what kind of wood it is, but
Sure.
it would be that lighter color that we painted the outside of the house, I guess, with the trims, kind of that contrasting trims. They kind of go away.
Yeah, 'cause I think if you're probably leaving some of that other trim, it may look
Yeah.
better to
Yeah.
paint it all in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And we've been working on this since September. So Caroline, we really have like gone down every rabbit hole.
No,
to try to solve
I have
this problem.
harassed.
And we had this
Yes.
beautiful new addition and a rotten door.
Karen has been very diligent and we've tried to get this one and this is just, and I was actually impressed with it. They were able to get a match this close.
yeah.
So, particularly since it is not a character defining feature on the front of the house, it is a side
Yeah, it is
door.
on the side too.
Yeah. I think there will be some trim left over, but it'll probably just look like how the 1x4s in the middle section now. That space will probably be eaten up on the sides, so it'll look correct, I think, when it's in there.
I don't have any other questions.
I don't think.
Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
All right.
We'll get, the sidelights are 14 weeks out, I think, so it'll be a little while, but we'll go ahead and put the order in.
Okay.
So, thanks, all.
All right, thank
Have a
you.
good, stay off time.
Stay warm.
Project's looking great.
Well, thank you so much, we're enjoying it.
All right, so now Ellis. Do you want to wait a month until he's here next month? Want to table it?
I mean, I guess the question is, I mean, he's been here the longest to know what the job would be. I mean, it's only required to have it for a year. 2 is the max. So, I mean, we could always revisit it again in a year or another meeting if we have to. Does it say that it's a minimum?
I thought it said a year.
Yeah, the term is 1 year.
Is there, there's no, nothing that prohibits the, after a chair is served for 2 years, they can come back in as a vice chair?
There's nothing in the ordinance that prohibits that. I mean, typically we like to see a switch over because you want to have the vice chair presumably as the person that will be the next chair. But I also realize that at this point we still have 4 members because we're down 1. We have a vacancy right now, so that impacts as well. So do you want to vote now or do you want to postpone it till next month?
I'm willing to nominate Ellis for it since he's been vice chair. I don't know.
I'll second that.
I don't know if he's willing to accept that position. I don't know if he's talking with you.
No. Do you want to wait and do it next month since he's not here then?
We could wait and do it next month.
Like to serve.
I guess as we're talking about this though, as vice chair, can we discuss that or is he
Yeah, but would you like me, assuming that, that we talked to Ellis and he agrees, you still have to have a vice chair, so who would vice chair be? Who are you thinking for next time to vote on?
I didn't know if Patrick would, as a vice chair.
If it makes you feel better, Patrick is vice chair. I don't think I ever call vice chairs. What normally happens is every once in a while the chair doesn't show and we're waiting and then something happens and it's like, okay, vice chair, you have to run the meeting tonight. So.
There's that. I mean, I don't mind being vice chair, dropping back down. I know that usually it's kind of a training. That's something to think about for next meeting.
Okay.
If you'd be willing to do that.
Well, and I can talk to Ellis. I can follow up with him next week
Okay.
and see.
Yeah.
Because if he is unable or unwilling, then we'll have to have a very different conversation next month.
Correct.
So, all right.
But I just know that I can't be in the same position I'm in.
No, you have to sit out for a year, then they can come back and snag you again, but you get a year
Yes.
off. So,
Should we make a move to eliminate term limits? Lifetime appointment as chair.
I think that's above our pay grade.
So I think we need a motion to put this on the agenda for next month.
Okay. I make a motion to put the election of the new chair and vice chair in the February meeting when all members are present. Do I have a second?
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
That's it. So
Is there
I'll
any
just
last-
close the meeting down unless you have any other things you want to talk about.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
4:19. This might be the fastest.